Okay. Unless you guys want to do more after this, this is, I believe, our last one because I know exactly wanted to get to this one. Uh,
Uh, I'm not tired by any means. That's up to you guys.
we'll see how
I'm
you
also
guys are
going to keep
feeling.
going. Up to you guys as well.
Yeah, I'll
I
see how
will.
you guys feel.
Yeah, we'll see how we feel. I will say I've been during the explanation parts, I have been doing monster hunts and just listening in the background.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
That's right.
I'm so pissed off because when you get into the area of the game I'm in, um, there's regular monsters, there's 5-star monsters which are strong and give more rewards, and there's tempered monsters which are also strong and give more rewards. You can get a tempered 5-star monster, which is like a super fucking rare thing to get. Um, and once you hunt a monster once, you can make it to where you hunt that specific one with those specific rewards again and again over and over. So I got one during that episode, and I thought I had my lobby closed, but I didn't. So people started joining, and I was like, "Oh shit, nothing I can do about it now." Someone ran up and died 3 times instantly, and if any party member dies 3 times, it immediately ends the hunt and the monster runs away.
Oh,
No.
You're playing Wilds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say the last one I played was Worlds.
I just
World.
lost like a 0.5% chance of spawning hunt during that
that
episode,
sucks.
which is why I was not talking very much.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah, it was World.
All right, so going into this one, Boba Fett versus Samus Aran. I don't know if you guys remember. This is the very first episode of Death Battle.
oh, that's
Wait,
right.
what?
This is them remastering Boba Fett versus Samus Aran because this is the more serious part of this that I do want to keep serious. The man who inspired Death Battle, Monty Oum, otherwise also the creator of Ruby, and I believe Red vs. Blue.
I already know where this is going.
Passed away. And he was the inspiration for Death Battle. So in memory of him, they remastered the very first episode they made.
I
That's
guess I
cool.
didn't know where this was going.
Where did you think it was going?
I've heard very bad things about the team that worked on Ruby for a while.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's not a lot of great things about this, especially after Monty. But yeah, Monty Oum sadly passed away. And this was their thing for Monty. So going into that, now we can be
That's nice.
Now we can be stupid. I'm gonna go in order. Luke, do you have connection to these characters? And
Sorry.
matchup.
Before we say anything, you said it was a remaster.
Remaster.
So
Yes.
does that mean the
I
Like-
don't think so.
does that mean stat wise and all that it's no different and it's the same outcome?
Well, considering that episode was 5 minutes, this one is 13. I'm gonna go no.
I think a better word for it might be a revisiting.
They kind of stopped using the word remaster after a while, and you can see it's actually been taken out of the title,
Yeah.
as it used to be Boba Fett versus Samus Aran remastered. That's just what I still refer to it as.
Now, what year was this?
This was
Probably
2015.
2015.
on boop
10 years ago, 2015.
February 2015.
Let me look something up real quick.
I think the most recent game was Other M.
What about Samus?
Well, Other M doesn't add too much.
Dude, Boba Fett, Other M is fucking gold. Like,
Metroid. Okay, so wow, Prime 3 was 2007. Damn. All right, that's all.
I was 14
we
years
can. You were asking Luke.
Yeah. All right. So Luke, do you have thoughts about these characters and matchup?
I mean, pretty mild connections to both of them. I haven't played much Metroid. Honestly, the only Metroid I've actually played has been the first one on my Game Boy.
Fair enough.
I've watched a little bit of gameplay from the other games, mostly a little bit of Zach playing Dread, which was supposed to be one of the old playthroughs on the
I've
original
heard-
Lightning Round Battlegrounds.
I've
I
heard
changed my
stories.
playthrough 3 times.
Yeah. So I had a little bit of that, and Boba Fett kind of only know him from the movie. I don't know if he's in other like media from Star
Right.
Wars, right?
Yeah, comics and stuff. And this was before. No, this was after Legends was no longer canon. I
Okay.
believe.
This is also before anything Mandalorian.
Yes, no Mandalorian, no Book of Boba Fett, none of that.
Okay. So, I mean, initially rooting for, I don't have any strong connection to either of them. Probably a little bit more Samus, so maybe lean Samus.
All right.
But I'm open to see what their descriptions are.
Zach, what about you?
Um, I've seen a fair amount of Boba Fett. I've seen all the mainline movies he was in, and I watched Mandalorian season 2. Haven't watched Book of Boba Fett, but obviously they're not including that. Samus, if they give her the Phazon suit from Prime 3, she solos. There is no dispute about that. If she doesn't get the Phazon suit, she still kicks his ass, but not by a lot.
Okay. Nick, what about you?
You know, this is weird for me. This is a really weird episode because my life is probably equidistant to both characters, but that being said, I have different stakes for each one because I've played the original Metroid. Can't remember if I played all of it, but I've played a lot of it just due to figuring out like the save state system. And obviously it's always been adjacent to my life because my friends are into it. I've played just like samples of different games. I want to say I had one for Game Boy 2. I think it was Zero Mission.
Oh, Zero. Yeah, Zero Mission is just the remake of Metroid 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, similar boat to Luke. I don't know all of Samus's abilities. I know just like the basic amount. But I also know more about Star Wars and by extension Boba Fett that would be relevant to this time period than any maybe any of you I don't know like your kind of investment in Star Wars, but that was like the realm. But I'll be honest, like I'm not really the biggest fan of Boba Fett, even though I've played like Star Wars Bounty Hunter, a lot of the games that have like relevant information. He kind of fucking sucks. I'm gonna be honest. Like I still think Samus fucking tanks him.
Boba Fett's
he's
like
just
my
a guy.
favorite Star Wars character.
He's just
Really?
a guy in a
I
suit.
love Boba.
Like,
I love Boba Fett.
It's not just a
love-
guy in a suit.
he's
I
just a
love
guy in a
Boba
suit.
Fett.
He's actually not even a guy. He's a clone of somebody else. He's a shit stain. Like,
I love Boba Fett, and before Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, he was my favorite Star Wars character. I like the Mandalorian more.
That's fair.
But the only thing he really has on Samus is the jetpack, and I'm struggling to remember if Samus has any sort of flight abilities, but she has
she's
a
ship.
bunch. She has multiple weapons that can deal with flight.
Yeah.
Not just a point and shoot weapon. She has a lot of tracking weapons. She has a lot of damage over time and AoE weapons.
I would
like,
argue
Aside
that-
from the jetpack, Boba Fett is a guy with a gun and some some skilled movement.
That's pretty true. He doesn't even. I mean, he has like minor enhanced abilities just due to like physical training. But reminder, he's still a clone, and so he gets the benefits of those enhancements, but no more. And I would argue, Zach, that you're still technically right. Like the thing that he has going for him though isn't even just the flight. It's his rocket booster. Like he can launch explosive projectiles, and that's like the closest thing that
So
he
can
can use.
Samus. And
I know
hers
that's
are,
what I'm saying. Like hers are like plasma and Metroid technology based. So
and
I
again,
don't-
if she has Phazon, it one hit and it like corrupts their mind.
like
You know what I'm curious about? I'm curious if there's, like, in my lack of knowledge about Boba Fett, if they're going to bring up something different about him, like some weird feat that we don't know about.
So I will
Good
say
challenge,
this,
sure.
like one of the things they're probably going to touch on is his rangefinder, because he is like probably a more skilled assassin than she is, or like a skilled bounty hunter. I'm not exactly sure what Samus's like prime occupation is, but
Bounty hunter.
he's an antagonist. Like
He's
his-
a bounty hunter, but primarily the bounties are primarily like
Yeah, they're
monsters.
weaker targets and like droids and shit. But the biggest thing I think is that he generally has like technology that allows him to scan his environment and kind of, he'll be leading the battle, not in terms of like ability, but in terms of like, where they're taking this.
She does too, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't know as much about Samus.
She has a scanner in Prime that takes maybe 2 seconds to fully scan an enemy, and it'll literally give a full log line of every strength and every weakness and every single minute way to dodge every attack.
Yeah.
A lot more discussion about this preemptively to the episode than
'Cause
I expected.
I have a high stake in Samus winning. Like,
This is a juicy episode.
All right. Well, I think with that we can begin.
What do you think, Kai?
Oh yeah, I think. Okay, more
Fucking piano music.
more serious for Monty Oum, and then it goes into death battle.
I think they should have left out the screw attack logo for that.
Maybe, but I don't think Screw Attack would have let
One
him.
of the most respected and fun jobs in the world.
I don't know about respected, but certainly a daring profession only for the strong and bold.
Boba Fett.
Interesting that in the hashtag up there, they put a last name and then a first name.
Samus Aran, a hunter so determined
Notice that?
she'll sacrifice
Yeah, that
her
is weird.
planet to reach her goal.
He's whizzing out.
The fact that the first clip of footage was her in the phase-on suit means they're probably going to include it.
Who would win a death battle? Boba Fett is unnatural in more ways than one.
I hope they find a way
Not
to
born
use
into
her
the
like
galaxy,
Morphball
rather
Supernova,
created as a clone of the
because it's so
principal
small and so
Valkyrie
slow,
Jango
but if it hits, it'd be so funny.
Fearsome.
I think it's safe to assume every universe has some metal stronger than titanium. Though
What is
to
this clip
one's
from?
credit, it's
I-
actually
Probably a
lot
fan film.
heavier.
Looks
I
yeah,
don't
it looks
think
like something I would have made.
I don't think it's maybe it's a fan film, but I don't know. I just feel like they wouldn't have used that.
It does look like it's filmed like in someone's backyard, though.
After this class that I just finished, like I can do these effects.
Sacrificing mobility for durability. In fact, it's so durable.
Yeah, I
it
could
resists light
I could do mild rotoscoping
I'm
at least
sorry.
with Star Wars shit before.
I'm sorry. I don't know where that Boba Fett like guide. I don't know what that's from, but I remember having that hung up on my wall when I was like 9.
Sword whip and numerous concussion and stun missiles. But his weapon of choice is his EE3 carbine rifle, which Fett often cradles like a
Okay, I would argue it's not really a whip. That's like it's a grappling device.
He uses it
Oh.
in a few different ways.
That's
I mean, yeah, he can technically whip
However,
people
my
with it,
favorite
but
thing in Boba's bag
an actual
And I
whip
can
might
whip
be
people with
better.
a towel.
which he uses for short-range travel and to gain a mobility advantage over his foes. While it can only hold enough fuel for a single minute's worth of flight, its velocity reaches
like
up
that
to
clip.
90 miles per hour.
The jetpack also has a single anti-vehicle homing missile, because when you've got space for a
I think
missile,
that's gonna be his
why
weakness
not?
is the fact that it's only a
In short,
minute.
Boba Fett is a human Swiss
Um,
Army knife. He's killed hundreds of
They,
criminals, politicians,
they aren't
and
talking
Jedi.
about it
He
yet,
battled
but
his
it's
way into a
extremely
throne when
fragile.
He was only 12
Like-
years old.
Most
yeah.
most Jedi will just fucking manipulate like the mechanisms in it because it's got a lot of moving parts, and it just takes off without his consent.
Or like if it gets shot once,
is-
right? It'll just start malfunctioning.
Yeah,
Which is funny because the Mandalorian's jetpack is made of like every single part is made of like Beskar, which is immovable.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like,
I mean,
The fact that they
terms
didn't
of
think of that.
Mandalorian lore, in terms of it, he's like a fake ass Mandalorian. Like
Okay.
he's not even.
He's
I-
like the best.
I have low key kind of beef with him,
But he's
yeah,
not
like,
actually part of Mandalore, right?
No, he's no.
no, he's an
longer.
honorary Mandalorian.
So he is a fake ass Mandalorian.
But he is like one of the best. Yeah.
Again with this. Oh my god.
Accomplishment so manly,
Stop
it
hitting F.
instantly kickstarted his puberty.
But for all his skill, Fett has one great, inescapable weakness: the Sarlacc pit. This flaw is so unavoidable.
Oh my god, I really hope that's the death.
Physically drained Han Solo while wearing a
Like there's gonna be a perfect justification for a regular death, and then he also falls into the pit.
Boba Fett's story officially ends.
Like Cryptor.
But that's stupid. So here's what happened in the expanded universe. Using a
Oh.
combination of his jetpack
That's a long
and
pause.
blowing himself up, Fett actually escaped the Sarlacc. He later became leader of the Mandalorian warriors after the Galactic Civil War, and even held
This is
his
before
own
they
against
thought
Darth
Mandalorians
Vader
looked different than
twice.
Boba
Okay.
Fett.
I have to I'm bringing this up every time he shows up on this fucking show, and it's one more time after this.
What's up?
He did not match Darth fucking Vader. Both panels they show is a one-panel scene of him kind of fighting Vader. The very next panel is him getting his ass fucking handed to him. They bring this up again when he shows up seasons later, and I will never forgive them.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying Han Solo could fucking match swordsmanship with Darth Vader. It's just like
They clashed once and they take that screenshot and use it everywhere.
I don't know why they keep doing
it's
this.
on
I
his
hate
Facebook
it.
page.
I fucking hate
After the
it.
Galactic Civil War, and even
He definitely puts that on his
against
Tinder
Darth
profile.
Vader twice.
While using one of several lightsabers he's taken from his Jedi kills. And that's pretty goddamn
Yeah, like the
impressive.
weakest Jedi,
You know
dude.
what's even more impressive? The time he trained Han Solo's Jedi daughter so that she could kill an evil, all-powerful Sith Lord, who just so happened to be her own brother. Spoilers. Unfortunately, Fett's greatest weakness still remains that toothy sandwich.
It's for the expanded. It's for the expanded universe
Yeah,
books.
this
and
is
stuff.
before Disney really put
Gotcha.
their mitts on the extended
Well,
lore.
this is. They said that it's no longer canon, but they're using it because of the fuck it.
Yeah, but
There's otherwise not
it's-
much
it's-
to Boba
It's
Fett.
it's my heart canon. Like to me, this is that's more real than
Yeah.
anything that they've had.
More like Ford Cannon.
Running
got
around
that.
looking for snacks.
No.
There's a freaking hole in the ground.
And again, he can fly! Fun fact, every year following his escape, Boba Fett returns to the planet Tatooine just to shoot the Sarlacc. He's learned his lesson.
It's about that
Staying
time.
as far away from that shit as he possibly can.
Fear of teethy holes
Bring
aside,
Sarlacc.
few have survived once he's set his sights on them. Boba Fett is a whole
Why do I keep
new
using
meaning
that?
of
I don't know what that is.
No disintegration.
Apparently, it's important.
As you wish.
When
Samus.
she was young,
My
Samus
fucking
Aran
goat.
lived with her family on Earth colony
No, she's a human.
QL, until one
No, she's
fateful
not.
day
She's-
when it
she's
was
half
sacked
human.
by an army of space
Half
pirates
goat?
led by the vile Ridley,
Yeah.
a giant purple space dragon.
Ridley murdered her parents right in front of her, along with the rest of the
A lot of
planet.
people's
Literally.
waifus. Just like I'm imagining sitting in a truck tailgating, watching this fight, saying that to a
Samus was
stranger.
rescued by the Chosen.
So,
F-bird.
does she like now have a bad habit of pecking at food and shitting on people's cars?
Yeah.
No. She wears the power
Dude, she could do
suit,
both.
typically in Varda,
Shut up.
shielding her
Secondary.
entire body without restricting any movement or flexibility.
Too bad it makes her look like a dude.
Though
They're
underneath,
not-
she wears the skin
there's no
tight
phase
zero
on.
suit.
There we go. They must call it that because there's literally zero left to the imagination. While in that zero suit, she carries a paralyzer pistol, a gun which can, well, paralyze people, and turn into a laser whip.
But she definitely prefers the power.
gun
That's
does?
an actual whip. Like,
Yeah.
As a modified version of Chozo battle armor developed specifically for Samus, it can also be upgraded to adapt to any environment.
Samus carries the powerful arm cannon as her primary weapon, and she's found quite a
Samus
few
probably got one of the
Charge beam, ice
coolest
beam.
like power
Oh my-
suit designs.
They're missing so much stuff.
They can only have so much on the side.
Yeah, but like charge there's so many like has Death Battle always been characters at their peak, or did it hit that point at some point down the line?
It kind of hit that point somewhere down the line.
That brings me some consolation because they're using her weakest beams.
Well, they're gonna talk about more.
Okay.
There might be a second page.
Clean off.
I like
She can
I
also
like the
send
effect that
blasted
the show has on the
ice
human
beam,
body.
grapple beam, and tons of seeking and
Tingles.
super missiles.
It makes it better that
Training lets
early
Samus
Death Battle
control the
isn't
skies
what it
with
is
a
now.
speedy screw attack, and curl into her morph ball form to traverse places few others can.
How the hell does she do that?
Bird DNA.
So to like bounce back to this, but like, can you guys name a cooler power suit design than Samus's? I think it's a really cool suit.
Master Chief.
I mean,
I think I prefer Samus's over that.
It depends
Cooler
on like
power suit.
going
Yeah.
for realism. I think Master Chief has the most fucking iconic shit you'll ever see.
Yeah.
But Samus, like, her suit's built like a Ferrari. Like, it's fucking awesome.
Exactly.
And it's like if we allow ourselves to kind of like supersede what realistically like a federally regulated like population can do, like if it's like part alien, that's fucking awesome. Like nothing beats that, and there's so many variants of it.
Also, I think Iron
Master
Man
Chief's is
cooler.
very cool.
Iron
Luke,
Man
in
is
your
cooler.
Luke, in your eyes, does the Ultima weapon count as a power suit, or is that more a mech?
The Ultima.
The Ultima weapon, from Final Fantasy.
Huh. I guess
think
that kind of
if-
that does
if you
like kind of
have
line up in my
to-
mind.
A mech is, I think, dependent on if you have to use less than your whole body to control it. Like, like a good metaphor is Ironmonger from the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
That's a mech, and it's like Iron Man is a suit.
That makes sense.
That's fair.
I think that's the difference.
In that case, yeah, I can't think of a cooler Samus suit other than a different Samus suit that they haven't yet shown.
I think Iron Man's cooler, but that's just me. It's probably biased. I don't know.
We all know how
I think
many times you skip
Iron
into the
Man's-
parking lot.
I think they go. I like how much they go into the technicalities of it, just like the suit ups in the movies. Like
Oh, yeah.
I like how you understand how each of the individual pieces work until they go to nanotech. It's whatever.
Well, like that's the thing is like kind of the same thing with Master Chief is that like if you no longer put like the limit of just like what is like basically current technology on it, then I think Samus is probably the coolest because it's still alien technology incorporated into it. Like Iron Man versus like Master Chief in terms of like aesthetic just comes down to personal preference, but like basically they're the same cool factor.
Right.
Alien bird DNA.
Well, then
Exactly.
F that planet and its birds. But I do like
I love the feathery eyebrows.
Which Samus carries and can use to destroy anything in the general
I
vicinity
forgot it's
in
not
seconds.
super slow in the
Samus is
2D
known as
games.
the bounty hunter capable of taking on impossible missions, fighting massive beasts, and even wiping out
Yeah,
an
that
entire
would
species.
be probably
All but
pretty
one.
difficult in the
Talk
3D
about
games, I'm
having
sure.
The rarest pet in the universe. And it makes a cute hat.
How
The 3D games,
often
they
she
do it,
often
it's just
makes
so
mistakes.
slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow she always
But I mean,
seems to
like,
lose all her power-ups
It
and
feels like
upgrades at
adding
the
a
beginning
third
of every
axis of
mission.
control
How has
would
she
make it
not
hard.
gotten a purse yet?
Well, even when she does have all her arsenal at her
They're using so
disposal,
much
it
other
doesn't
M and I hate it.
guarantee its use. For example, she once entered a volcano and did not activate her thermal systems until halfway through the mission, all because she was waiting for permission.
Oh, can we please not talk about that game?
But don't worry, Samus
Thank
has
you,
proven
Boomstick.
time and time again to be one of the deadliest hunters in the galaxy.
Wait, is that a live action?
Outlaws everywhere.
I think it was just a
Of Samus
trailer.
Aran.
That's
Yeah, it's
fucking
true.
cool as shit.
Trailer for like one of the games.
No, this is other M gameplay. Never mind.
The other one did look pretty real looking though.
The other
Maybe
one
it's-
was.
Okay.
All right.
They didn't talk about the Phazon suit. They didn't
That one
talk
is
about
true.
the dual beams. They didn't talk, even if they didn't have the Phazon suit, they didn't even talk about just the Phazon gun from Prime 1. There's a lot that they are not including for Samus, which makes me think it's actually going to be a fair fight.
My opinion is unchanged. I'm voting for Samus.
All right.
Me too. I'm still voting for Samus, but I'm gonna be upset if she loses just because they neglected to include her strongest weapon.
I agree.
Nick.
Well, I won't drag it out. Like, I'm gonna vote for Samus, but
Okay.
I want to just say like, those are good points that both Zach and Luke made. But I kind of think that they are also, given how much they're discrediting Samus, they're kind of downplaying Boba Fett too, because they didn't really talk enough about. Like, I didn't hear them mention his rangefinder once. Or the fact that like he has like other explosive devices like apart from the projectile that he can use in like specific circumstances. Not that that like changes the odds of the fight, because I think he's just like technologically more insufficient than even what they are sharing of Samus.
Mhm.
But with that said, just final thought before we start, I kind of think this is just a bad matchup. Like at this point. There's a lot of bounty hunters out there, but like Aaron Black would have been a better choice for Boba Fett.
Okay. I will say it's not the best matchup. They both have a lot better. The reason they just they did it before just because I don't know, they felt like it. And Death Battle Season 1, nothing's taken seriously. This is just they remastered their first episode.
Yeah.
But all right, we got 3 votes for Samus.
Battle Remastered!
I love that the ship looks like her
Yeah, oh,
helmet
yeah.
visor. Does Boba Fett's ship also kind of look like his helmet?
I don't think so.
I mean, no, it's
I need to see it from the front.
that's not the known thing about it. The known thing about it is his name.
Boba Fett wins.
Right there.
It's kind of fucking cool. I like when the 3D like metallic suits are metallic.
Yeah. Super glistening. It's got fresh wax on it.
Wait, pause it real quick.
Uh,
Sorry, it looked like Zach just sent a message saying their internet's bugging out.
Oh.
All right, you still on the call,
I'll go back a bit
Zach?
just to be sure.
Also, have either of you two been hearing knocking?
No.
I've been hearing thumps from downstairs and people yelling, but that's
You
kind
sure
of part of the course.
You sure it's from downstairs? Because I'm pretty sure I heard somebody knocking on my door.
On your door?
With considering
I
it's
felt like
just the three of us and no one can get in the unless Nick, you forgot to lock the apartment door.
Hang on, let me check.
I'm gonna go check it out.
I'm gonna stay in case Zach gets back.
Guys, Nick has been stolen.
What? About damn time.
All right, well, Zach is gone. Potatoes in mashed form or baked form?
Mashed.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna take a piss.
Potatoes mashed or baked?
Like in what context?
Eat.
Eat who eat?
You.
Me? I don't.
What do you want to eat?
potatoes.
Mash or
I-
bake?
You eat.
Me eat.
Eat you. You eat.
You want to eat me?
You eat. You eat.
I eat
You.
me? Self cannibalism?
Yes. Auto cannibalism.
All right, 1 minute.
Gain. Oh my god. Gain the energy back and regenerate your limbs.
I
Healing
eat
factor.
myself and retract into my stomach dimension.
Your
to gain
ball
powers.
form.
So, mashed or baked potatoes was your preference?
Okay,
What?
Okay, guys.
Oh.
I kept my headset on while I went to take a piss, and I heard all of that. I gotta say, that was, hold on. Apparently that was like one of the worst arguments ever, because one, Nick, just pick a potato. It's not that big a deal.
I'm just asking, like, what context?
What do you mean?
eating.
What context?
You're
What do you want to
eating-
eat?
What would you prefer
rather
to eat? A baked potato or mashed potatoes?
Like right now?
Sure.
Sure.
I'm just not that hungry.
Okay, I swear. Also, hi Zach. Hi Zach. Zach's back.
I'm on my phone now.
All right, are you good? Are you good to finish?
Yeah.
Fucking
Alright.
bashed, I guess.
Okay.
All right, are we good?
Kai, put that in
Yeah.
the video.
I will.
Thank you.
All right.
Not really. Also, is this just starting? Because
Yeah, I restarted it.
okay.
Oh fuck, hang on. It's getting weird for me.
Shit.
Being weird for all of us.
I can't. I keep opening it and I can't see.
What can't you? You can't see the video?
Yeah, I open it. It's just a black screen. Let me try disconnecting and reconnecting.
Okay. If that doesn't work, I'll just stop sharing real quick.
It's working for me.
All right, I'm trying it in windowed mode. Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This isn't Lightning Round Battlegrounds. It's not supposed to be scuffed.
It
Put a link in the
bleeds
top right
over.
corner.
Look
Look at this. This is fucking pathetic. Like,
You say that like Samus has landed a hit.
That's
Now
it.
Now she has.
just like that. Look at the blast she's sending him versus the blast he's sending her.
I've never really questioned that much, but I'm curious what the logic of how she transforms into that ball is with that suit of armor.
Yeah.
It's her anatomy. Like, you could.
I would like if she became a physical ball with her human parts as well. Which is
She curls up like Sonic. I like, ironically, this is a weird talking point. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep talking over the fight. I'm pretty sure I could almost do that. Like, with how flexible I am, like, it doesn't seem that far outside of the realm of possibility.
Someone needs to humble Nick.
Dude, I'm being honest right now. It's real Nick feet. Like,
I like to imagine she turns into a flesh ball, is what I mean. Are you saying that you can do that?
like,
I'm
like
not saying you can, but-
I could curl up into a ball.
This is like a cool show
Oh yeah.
for Samus right now.
That's also not how the laser whip works, but I don't care. No one cares.
I didn't realize the thing she had was like basically a lightsaber.
It's not.
Jesus
That's not.
Christ.
That's not how that works. But they just did that because it's cool.
Thank
That was the most
God.
one-sided fight I've seen in the animations.
I
so
mean,
far.
he destroyed her
God.
suit.
It felt like it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
A little bit, but
Did
He was
they
already
have?
he was already struggling.
Did they
like,
have
right
an
out the gate.
explanation? Did they have an explanation for why Boba Fett could take her powers like that?
he didn't take her powers. He destroyed the
Well-
suit.
Well, how it worked. What happened was she got hit by a certain blast, and she was still in her suit, but the morph ball shoulders were gone, which implies that her powers got somehow stripped.
I mean, I just think it
So then
just
she just got
destroyed
out of
the.
the suit.
It just destroyed a part of the suit.
I mean, he used the lightsaber to accomplish it, didn't he?
No, that was just an explosive.
Oh.
Fett put
I don't
up
know.
a fight to the best of his ability, but Samus's superior technology and athletic skill trumped him in every way.
How did the original episode go?
Samus won.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
Stop hitting F.
Stronger, Samus has dealt with
F.
foes like that all her life.
Boba Fett really didn't have the means necessary to catch Samus, let alone perfectly counter Samus's powerbomb, screw attack, and ice beam.
Sure, Boba's killed plenty of Jedi and survived a run-in with Vader, but his greatest victories usually stem from his-
Finally, they
He's
gave it the
allowed
correct
to
word of
play
survived.
things into
Yeah.
his hands.
But when it comes to Samus, Fett had little to work with. Samus specifically modeled her bounty hunter career around anonymity. She's even commonly mistaken as a man by the very people who want to hire her, making it extremely difficult for Fett to get a read on her.
I like that little clip of her just like waving to the
Yeah.
camera.
In the game.
The winner is Samus Aran.
All right.
Isn't it Samus?
I'm glad it
Aran?
was one-sided, even if they did nerf her.
But yeah. Any final thoughts from anyone?
Happy with how it turned out. I think it's correct.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think
doesn't
they.
really-
I want to see Samus more with all of her stuff later.
I
Yeah.
hope they bring back Samus eventually. They have not yet, but I hope they do. Especially
I think it
now
was a
with-
fun. It was a fun coolness display for Samus as well.
I'm a little.
Samus versus Metal Sonic.
I'm a little concerned on who they would put her up against though, because her only really big matchup is Master Chief, and
She'll
They're-
probably
I'm
lose that,
sorry,
right?
but she would also body hit.
don't know.
she
Think so?
so I've actually fully researched Samus versus Master Chief, and it's a lot closer than you probably think. However, Samus does win.
Okay.
But also we are just now getting Master Chief. We're not getting Master Chief again for a while if we do. So I don't know who they would put Samus against if they did. But we'll see. Maybe I feel like because we're getting Metroid Prime 4, I think it's this year or next year.
Oh,
Oh
really?
yeah, she's getting even more feats.
So they're probably gonna want to do something with that. I don't. They'll probably find something.
She might, honestly, because of her new gimmick that she's getting, they might put her up against Link.
Maybe I've seen
New
that a
gimmick?
lot.
What? Wait, what's her new gimmick?
Telepathy,
I haven't
basically.
watched
Or
it.
telekinesis.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know too much about it. But she has telekinesis, which is primarily used in the same way that like Link's ability to move and interact with objects is used in Breath of the Wild.
And if they do that, if they composite both of them, I'm sorry, Samus is losing that one.
Well,
Unfortunately.
So hang on. I mean, not in terms of that. Like, that's a good debate idea, but as far as like who they might pair her up with to fight outside of that, Samus is a character that predominantly fights character like creatures that are somewhat different from herself, or like creatures altogether. You know what I'm saying? Like the primary antagonist is Metroid.
Mhm.
It feels like she's kind of a good combatant in a death battle context to fight like some kind of like destructive race, like aliens, like
Oh,
xenomorphs. I
interesting.
mean, like it doesn't really feel like she could.
I don't think so. Just because if they put like that would set Samus up to win. That's like putting I'm only using this example because the game is open right in front of me. That's like putting a monster hunter against a monster instead of like the
Another
chosen
hunter.
undead who also hunts monsters.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get you.
maybe, but like if there's a different form of monster, like yeah, I could see her tanking the bugs from Starship Troopers, but maybe
Like
not
putting
like
up
the
against a
Flood
stronger threat than she's used to.
or like all of the Covenant.
Yeah, a one person against an army would be a different style than we've seen. That'd be kind of interesting. And also that theming of like instead of putting two characters that are similar, putting a character versus the character that like a similar character that they would fight, but stronger. Be kind of interesting to see. Be unique.
Okay, so I decided to just look up like matchups for Samus.
Yeah.
And the big ones I'm seeing are this character I've never heard of, Nova Terra from Nova Terra. I don't know anything
Not
about
sure.
that. Zero from Mega Man, and Firefly from Honkai Star Rail.
I don't bring Honkai into Death Battle.
I mean, they're already
Honkai Star
they're
Rail.
already going to be bringing Genshin in. Why not?
Good point. That being said,
Genshin, what an impact!
I don't like that match.
I don't know, man.
How would Samus versus Zero be? Would that be a good one?
I'd be okay. It's a weird thing because they don't have much matching for each other than they're both red, and they use like power blasters.
Okay, just like basic theming.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could technically call Zero a bounty hunter, but it's not really bounty hunting.
Let me see. Hang on, I just clicked on one. Yeah, Master Chief
Looking
is
for
a
his
big one for
library.
like people.
Oh yeah.
Inspiration.
Some people are saying Gamora from like the Marvel universe, like Cloud Gamora, or I mean Marvel Gamora, like the comic Gamora.
I don't know how I feel about that, but also for Gamora, I much prefer Gamora versus Katana from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. Maybe she'll show up again later. I'm also seeing
Some people are
Cloud.
saying Metal Sonic. I'm seeing Metal Sonic here.
Really?
I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean,
Cloud
I'm sure it's
now,
not close.
I have a good one. Samus versus either of the Risk of Rain final bosses, either Providence from Risk of Rain 1 or Mithrix from Risk of Rain 2.
I do not know enough about that to give an opinion.
I'd say it would be pretty even. Providence and Mithrix both use melee weapons, so they're not necessarily similar combatants, but power-wise, they're from a similar like genre of game and would be pretty evenly matched.
Okay.
All right.
I can see it.
Yeah, I'm not too sold on pretty much any of these matchups really, outside of Master Chief, but that one's definitely not happening at least for a bit.
I know that they do most of their matchups based on like one things that people talk about a lot, like they're popular, or two, well, maybe in conjunction with the first one, things that are themed, like similar characters, which would make sense for a matchup, like something that you might actually think about. I would be intrigued. They would never do this because it wouldn't perform as well in terms of views, but one matchups that are like decent matchups but very different characters, just to see how they would balance out.
I mean,
That's just like a personal
Yeah.
interest of mine.
I know quite a few times they've done matchups that weren't the most popular for characters. A couple this season, like with Gara versus Toph. Toph versus Terra from Teen Titans is like one of the most popular matchups. And they had both Batman and Iron Man this season who were very popular for fighting each other, and yet they fought Captain America and Lex Luthor.
Somehow
So-
my call went back to my computer, and it still says I'm not connected to the internet.
Huh.
Oh, weird.
You have an Ethernet plugged in?
No, I mean, yeah, but it still says no internet.
Maybe it's
Is the modem
preemptively
down?
connecting before it shows.
I think it's just lying to me.
Okay. Are we wanting to do more, or are we wanting to call it?
I was
Probably
gonna
not.
call it right away when it disconnected me from my computer, but now I'm willing to keep going.
Nick?
I probably got like one or two more.